Hello, happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to Elite Weather Forecasting. I'm your student meteorologist. My name is Mr. G, studying at Mississippi State University, and we're going to have a weather forecast for you guys today, as we're able to do daytime weather forecasts for you, and our daily forecasts are back, at least for now, while my work schedule permits it. So we are going to be looking at Portland, Oregon today. We're seeing that pretty dark out there still. I think it's like, 5 in the morning out there. So you can see those clouds in the sky. You can see the gray just above my shoulder there. But we are going to be looking at some rain showers today in the Portland area. It's a pretty city and very nicely lit up out there. So yeah, wet start to your day here in Portland, and we're going to see that rain diminish later today, and we're going to have a nice little dry stretch through about Thursday before the next storm moves in off of the Pacific. So that series of storms is going to continue with our atmospheric river on the West Coast and in the Pacific Northwest. So let's move on to the rest of the forecast and talk about the rest of the country, what you guys are going to see today and the rest of this week across America. Alright, so as we move on to weather forecast for the rest of America, let's take a look at the first map here. And we're going to start off with the Northeast today. We're going to see another storm system today bring some rainfall to New England. But the mid-Atlantic state is going to remain dry for this system. But you're going to see that rainfall from upstate New York northward towards Maine and Nova Scotia. So you're going to see heavier rain along the interior portions of Maine and the Ottawa, Canada. We're going to see heavier rain for that area, parts of New Brunswick. Just showery weather down here for upstate New York through Vermont, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts, and Rhode Island as well. In Connecticut, we're going to see some more showery weather conditions, lighter rainfall amounts, where that heavier rain will be in the interior portions of Maine and eastern Canada. Warmer weather down to the south, still ahead of the front, so we're still going to see it quite warm with those temperatures in the 70s. South of our front, but much cooler on the backside of the front with some 40s and 50s coming into the Great Lakes here, and a little bit breezy as well. So that stiff breeze coming from the northwest on the backside of that front. So cities like Detroit and Cleveland, as well as Milwaukee and Chicago, is going to see that cooler weather today, where you saw those temperatures almost 70 degrees in the Chicagoland area, about 20 degrees cooler today. So here we are as we talk about another storm system that's going to come in. Remember, we have that zonal pattern, so that means that storms are moving very fast along the U.S. and Canadian border from west to east. So they're moving very quickly from the Pacific Northwest across the Northern Plains, across the Great Lakes, and over into the Northeast. So we're going to have another storm zip across the country Wednesday night and into the Northeast there. And we're going to see that rainfall, maybe a little bit of snow up here in the higher elevations of Vermont, New Hampshire, upstate New York, up there in the Cascades Mountains, and through Maine. We're going to see some snow up into eastern Canada. So Quebec and Ontario, Canada. Ontario, we're going to see it warming up for rain, but there will be a rain and snow mix right about here. But we're going to see rain further to the south, down as far south as Virginia and into Kentucky and West Virginia. We're going to see a more steady rain along this where we have this upglide area here around our area of low pressure, our warm air advection, and circulate into this. We call this theta E advection that's coming into that area of low pressure that's going to be bringing that more steady rainfall along our frontal boundary right in this region here. So we're going to see more showery weather on the backside of that front, and we're going to see those showers and warm weather dissolve into where our warmer weather will be here further into the Ohio Valley, and we're going to see a warming and drying out of the weather across parts of the upper Midwest. So you're in Minneapolis here, you're going to see improving weather conditions as we get into Wednesday and Wednesday night. All right, so again on Thursday, that Wednesday storm is going to slide off towards the northeast, and it's going to move off the coast near Rhode Island and Connecticut. So we're going to see a little bit type of a nor'easter type situation, but not as strong as typical nor'easters. This is a fairly weak system as we don't have a lot of jet stream energy. And to get that jet stream energy, you need amplification in the jet stream. And we're really not seeing that application in the jet right now. So we have weaker storm systems, but that is going to bring some showers here across the northeast and some rain and snow mix. So we're going to have mixed precipitation and some freezing rain through parts of the northeast and into Maine. But we'll see snow into northern Maine, parts of Quebec, as well as into Ontario. So a lot of rain and snow in the northeast again. So at least you won't be seeing it over the weekend. So that's finally maybe a break in having a dry weekend across the northeast. There's been some type of rainfall over the last 9 or 10 weekends across the northeast. So maybe, hopefully, we'll see. We'll keep a track, look on the forecast and see what we can see, what we might look like this weekend across the northeast. So again, a very dynamic weather pattern in the northeast today. As some areas going to see some snow, some freezing rain, some normal rain, but then nice and dry weather into some regions of the upper Midwest and western Great Lakes. And then we're going to see nice warm weather along the mid-Atlantic coast as we have high pressure dominating this area, and you're going to miss out on the precipitation taking place to the further to the north. Now, as we talk about that wintry precipitation, we're going to see some ice and freezing rain out there. And this over a large area, parts of Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, mostly in the higher elevations, upstate New York, as well as down to near the Pennsylvania line. So Pennsylvania, parts of upstate New York, and we're going to see it into Massachusetts as well. We're going to see that freezing rain. Luckily, Boston, I think you're going to escape some of that freezing rain. This is going to be a little bit warm near the waterfront there, near the Atlantic. So Boston, I think you're going to be out of the concerns for the slippery conditions from any freezing rain or sleet that might happen along the interior. This is mostly going to be over the interior as we have a lot of warm air in the mid levels of the atmosphere, and we have colder air, freezing air at the surface. So again, we're going to see that rainfall and melt, that snow from the upper levels of the atmosphere fall through that layer of warm melt, then refreeze right before hitting the surface. This is how you get freezing rain or sleet. So depending on where that refreeze happens in the low levels of the atmosphere, if it's still maybe a few hundred feet higher than the surface, we will see sleet. But if that freezing level is right before the surface, like maybe a few feet above the surface, that refreeze will take place on contact with the ground. So then you will have freezing rain. So we're going to see a combination of sleet and freezing rain. Depending on elevation, that's going to make the biggest impact on what exactly you see in this area of ice that we're going to see as we head through Wednesday night and into Thursday morning. So across the west, we have still a lot of warm air in play. High pressure is in control across the southwestern U.S., down across the southern plains and through Texas. But in the Pacific Northwest, we've had a series of storms over the last week. We have another storm that we're going to be seeing today, where we had a storm yesterday. We're going to see that storm start to wind up today as it heads up into northwestern Canada, and that front is going to move across the northern part of the United States, but it's going to spread some showers from northwestern California, Oregon, and Washington, and those showers are going to spread over the Cascade Mountain Range and spill into the interior portions of Oregon and Washington and affect Idaho and Montana and parts of Utah and Wyoming as well. And you're going to see some scattered snow showers today. We're going to pick up quite a bit of snow through Colorado and through parts of like the Denver area today, we're going to see a lot of snow. So we're going to move on through our maps here, and we're going to talk about what we're going to see when we get to the midweek portion of this weather forecast. High pressure is going to start to build in from the west, so maybe it'll shut down that atmospheric river. So we're going to see nice dry conditions start to build in across the western U.S. along the Pacific coast. So it's going to get quite nice and dry for you folks. But we're going to see that cooler weather from those areas of low pressure that's been tracking across the northern tier of the country. So that's going to keep things a bit on the cool side across the northern tier, across the northern plains and the high plains. And we're also going to see that colder weather along near the Denver area. We're going to see some snow, and we're going to take a closer look at that snow in just a moment here. But here is that latest storm system moving across the Great Lakes and into the Northeast. So at the midweek point, so Wednesday through Thursday, we're going to see this storm tracking across the Great Lakes and into New England, and that's going to bring some snow and some freezing rain over in that region. You're going to see some rain showers as well. So again, a little bit of fall and wintry precipitation, but that nice warm weather will continue along the southern plains, the mid and the deep south, and the southeast, and the state of Florida. So great weather for those regions. Nothing to complain about down toward the south. Now here is that look at that snow that we're going to see across Colorado. We're going to see up to 18 inches of snow where we have this strip there of the dark blue just to the west of Denver. We're going to see that chance for snow where we can pick up as much as 18 inches. For the most part, we're going to see anywhere from 3 to 6 inches of snow across the high plains here from Denver and into the eastern slopes of the Rockies, as we have a weak area of low pressure in this area, and that's going to help to produce some snow, and some of it could be heavy at times here across I-70. We're going to see it going over the mountain and through Colorado and I-80 as well. We're going to see some snow into the state of Wyoming. So definitely some travel concerns that we're going to worry about here from Wednesday through Thursday across the Rockies and the high plains on the leeward side of the mountains. We're going to see, as we see that flow coming up the leeward side, this time of the Rockies, so we're going to see that wintry precipitation. So again, if you're driving a semi, you might want to have your chains on your tires and be prepared for the icy conditions and the heavy snow possible. All right, so here is our dry stretch we're going to see for the most part from the southwest through the Midwest to the mid-Atlantic states. So dry weather from through Wednesday. We're going to see dry weather across the southern half of the United States as we have that long wave flat pattern, that zonal pattern in the jet stream. We're starting to see troughing start to dig in toward the northwest. That troughing is going to dig slowly further to the south and the southwest. So we're going to see a little bit of amplification in the jet stream as time progresses here. But eventually, when that trough in the jet stream reaches its way to the Midwest, it's going to pull up tropical moisture off the Gulf of Mexico. So we're going to start to see an area of low pressure that's developing over the southwestern Texas and the desert southwest. And that area of low pressure is going to move across the deep south and across Texas. So we're going to see thunderstorms across southern Texas, Louisiana, parts of Arkansas as well. So Dallas, Houston, down through San Antonio, Austin, Shreveport, Louisiana, over to New Orleans. Going to see showers and thunderstorms that could cause some localized flash flooding. In the dark green here is where you can see some of the heaviest rainfall, and we can see some flash flooding. Not anticipating any severe weather with these showers and thunderstorms, but a lot of heavy rain potential as we have a lot of moisture coming up off of the Gulf of Mexico. So again, take your precautions with that as you prepare to deal with that wet weather in the midweek or in the middle to latter half of the week. It's been fairly dry down in that part of the country. So So they always need that rainfall. So you will get that rainfall later this week. The problem, it might just come too much too fast. So that is your weather forecast. I'm meteorologist Mr. G with the Tuesday. I'll be back tomorrow with your Wednesday forecast. Leave a like right here on TikTok and YouTube. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I will see y'all in the next video tomorrow. Bye-bye.